Steal my magnets. No magnet stealing. Oh, what is this bits? This is bits. Are you trying to steal? Get rid of the bits? No bits. I took the bits. Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody.
Well, as annoying as that is, I like it better than hello, internet.
It's not hello, internet. It's hello.
Stop.
Crafters. Gamers.
Beat you with this brush.
We have a viewer. Hello, viewer. We're live.
Per request, actually.
Per a request.
One of our delightful patrons. Okay.
So hang on. Let me quick yell at the people in our chapter.
Our chapter? We have a chapter name?
Yes. These are what my people called. They are now called.
Greg Hesh says hello.
Hey, Greg. He's the Necron guy.
Okay.
That hangs out with the Nurgle lady.
Okay.
Andy Commodore.
Which is always a good thing to have around.
Yeah. 5. I'm gonna tell.
Leather Pig, hi.
That's the one nice thing about doing this in the later afternoons. Because we get our Australian folks in there. Hello, Australia. So we went by the gaming store today.
Don't mind me, I haven't taken a picture of this guy yet.
But we got something new and something old. And we're kind of unboxing both. Hello, darling Phoenix. We're kind of unboxing both something new and something old. So
Do we have something borrowed? Something blue?
No. Something green, but it's ours. We bought it. I'm waiting for you to finish with your picatures.
Why do you need me?
Because I don't want to reach in front of your crap. So, we have the brand new Salamandery's dice for Miss Salamandery. Okay, so I'm gonna grab up 5 of them. Okay, they got it for those of you who care about dice. The flaming poop dice. Yeah, that was my impression, but she really liked them, so I'm like, you know what? They're your dice. No, it's this. Well, you haven't been to live stream in a while. It's the new camera. I've just got it kind of set so we can get a better view of the table. Okay, so the new dice that they've been working with,
they looked like lumps of coal to me.
And that's the thing. These are your dice, so they're great.
Or a burning body.
Yeah. So these are the dice. They're heavy. I mean, if you're into the dice weight, they are very heavy comparatively.
We should test them to see how badly I roll with them.
Well, here's a handful. Here's 8 dice. So you can pretend you're shooting with them. And we got to say ahead of time, these are 1s, so your dude will let you re-roll those. So that's not bad.
2 2s, a 3,
and see, that's
4,
the one thing. It takes a little bit to look at the lumps of coal.
5.
I'm not crazy about them, but
I had to do this with regular dice.
Yeah, so
I get a re-roll these. So let's see what
because you would have your captain nearby. And a pair of 6s out of them. That's good.
So I got 2 5s, a 4, a 3, 2 2s.
Well, let me ask the consensus here. As long as it's set ahead of time, would you guys consider the camera's over here? Would you guys consider the salamander head the one, or the imperial symbol as the one?
I would take the imperial symbol as the one personally.
Okay, so that means you re-rolled those 2. You didn't need to re-roll those 2 because they would have been. So you would take the. So that would be
that
the
was
one,
a good roll.
So that'd be the one thing I would say you need to clarify, because
medic is 1.
The medic is 1. Okay, so yeah, then the medic is 1. All right, well,
then
there you go.
Got salamander head is not centered.
It is centered.
No, it's really actually not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's really not. Honey, I'm a framer. I notice it's slightly off-center.
It's just like their shoulder pads, so I think it looks fine. Whatever. Now the more important stuff. So, yes, the more important stuff. We have a source for custom masks. Now I should point out. No. Actually, let's talk about the masks because we're going to be talking about these masks a lot. Because COVID is part of the reality for the next forever. There's no reason that gamers can't get masks that look good instead of just wearing crappy old. I have a medical mask on.
You know, there are some others that are not crappy.
So we found a source.
Or bandanas. Don't forget the bandanas.
We got a source that can make custom masks. And if you take your mask off for just a sec, sweetie.
Hold on. I got copy on my glasses.
This is a super quality mask.
Very
as you can see,
comfortable, actually. It's very lightweight. It's got slits in the sides of it.
So you can get the filter if you're one of these people that uses the filters.
Inside, which is really nice.
And it's got, both sides so it can be filtered. It's elastic, but they're tied. They're tightly tied, but they're tied so you can adjust them to fit you better.
I think about this time, Heimwork's going, yeah.
And
Vulcan lives,
yes.
Very much so.
Now here's the thing. Yes, you can see the Salamander's logo on there. Mine is in the car.
His is a dirtier green than
I have a dark Death Guard green, and it has the Nurgle symbol on the left cheek. The person that makes these is also making me a Space Wolf one that's going to be half yellow. I'm getting to that. It's going to be half yellow, half Space Wolf green. Space Wolf gray with the wolf logo on the yellow half. Yes, they have a Necrons one. Yes, they have a Necrons
one will be
available. They've got all of the different chapter symbols. They can do it in just about any color you want.
They're also designed so they curve slightly under the chin, and they curve up over the nose, and there's a little hinge in the nose too
to break it on there. So,
it's very lightweight and very nice.
Yes. So
it's very nice.
It's very nice. So, like I said, we have the two already made. She's got a Salamander's one. I have a Nurgle one. I'm getting a Space Wolf one's made. You could get a Yanari one done. There's a Yanari. Any of the Elven ones are possible. The Necron. I know what they currently have in stock. I'm getting an Orc one made that I hopefully will have for next week Tuesday for Orctober. I'll be able to wear it with my blue on one side for my Death Skulls and the green on the other with Orc symbols on both cheeks. So
that was the spectacle fog.
Yeah, some masks, like I find it at work, that like with the medical masks.
Yes. See, I hate that with the Flaming Passion, which is why I like these, because they're designed to go up over the nose. But I've also been told one of the ways to help get rid of that is if you line right here with surgical tape.
Right. But what I'm showing, you're not, I haven't seen any, the way these are designed, it filters through so it doesn't pop up underneath. So they're really good masks. And for Americans at this point, they're going to be $25 a piece.
Yes.
So,
and we may put them in a giveaway.
As soon as I get a link for them, I will get a link up and a connection because they're made by a friend of the show.
Yes. So you guys have seen her periodically.
And she's doing a couple other custom ones. She's working with a friend of ours that does custom mini pieces, does the custom bits. So if you guys have seen the red versus blue and or the Halo Space Marines, they've been all over Reddit recently, and I've actually promoted some of their stuff. The Instagram for them is Table Ready Minis. The guy that gets the helmets for that's where they're coming from. So he's going to help her out by putting them on her site. So It's going to be all good. So, are you actually going to paint with the mask on?
Probably. Ironically enough, I feel a little more comfortable with the masks on because it hides most of my face.
You're weird. Give a cute face. All right, so Wall of Martyrs Battle Zone.
He was so happy to find this at our game store.
I only saw this right when it came out and have not seen it since. I've actually really wanted one of these. Now, admittedly, if I could ever find another Sector Frontieris, I want that Sector Frontieris. But barring the Sector Frontieris, because it has unique stuff to it. But you guys know how much I love terrain. I mean, I am a terrain guy. And how much I love these kill team things. For $80, you get about $150 worth of terrain. I mean, that's just all there is to it. You're getting about $150 worth of terrain for $80. And now that boards are a thing, I'm getting another clay board. So I can't complain. So let's take this off. Let's see what's all in this bad boy. First off, I got to say, it's a heavy box.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freaking terrain in here, or a lot of big piece of terrain.
So just to let y'all know, this was, so he bought me a present not too long ago as a thank you for, working hard and not giving up. So my present is this shiny thing. Yay, shiny. It's not real. I love it. Totally glass. So I bought him this. Because he does something nice for me, I do something nice for him. And I think we just kind of go round and round and round like that.
All right, so let's start off with the board first. Okay, so first off, let's start off the board. I love it because, one, it's got another Sector Imperialis board.
Yay, that's what we know.
We do need another Sector Imperialis board. Now I can put down a full 4 of them and do a full 2,000-point game on the boards. And then there's this really cool battle mat that looks like craters, which I don't really have anything to match with it, but
boom, bitch.
Yeah, boom, bitch. That'll be, again,
somebody was learning how to dodge.
Yeah. There's a skull in the middle of it. Dodge!
Somebody failed to dodge.
So, another board. I like these boards. What is the kill team box? It is Killzone Wall of Martyrs. It's an old set. Old set. But it's been on a print. It's been on a print for probably a little over a year now.
There's a guy who
and here's a guy.
Didn't quite make it.
Man. First frame. That's a lot of plastic right off the bat. Heck-a-day. First frame is 2 corner pieces and an angle piece. Very nice. And
it must have rained because all the bodies are like half buried.
No, that's just how much explosions there were because, choke the bodies dead. Second frame on a yeah, see, people do this to me. They don't like me. They say they like me, but they don't like me. Yeah, I am, dude. I've actually, what's really great is
we've only, now we have 3 likes.
Yeah. Here's the thing about painting it that actually I'm really looking forward to. I'll get to that in a second. I have 2 unpainted of these that I got from my Tau.
That's right.
I built them, but I never finished painting them.
No.
I'm going to build these without the caps on. I'm going to build these without the caps on so that I can use them to link up to stuff. And then you get 2 of these in there. That's really great. I actually know somebody who has the Tau Kill Team set that has one of these sets of terrain in there.
You?
No. I mean, I know a store that has it.
Oh, Gio?
Yeah. So I might have to grab it. And then, actually, the piece to resist onto this whole thing.
Jesus.
What?
Just remembered something. Keep talking.
And it is that bunker. This is such a great bunker. Man, such a cool bunker. I love this piece of terrain, and that's the thing. This bunker actually has a lot of history because if you go back, this bunker build, this bunker build was based on an old build they had in one of their very first building terrain. Why did you do that? The 2 cups are there.
Because I didn't see them when I went running dashing out of here because I forgot about my tea.
I love my wife. Back in one of their very first, build your own terrain before they actually were making terrain. This would be like mid-90s. They had a set of plans and a set of designs that you could get right out of one of those. I forget which episode or issue of White Dwarf it in, but I think I still have it on the shelf in there. But they had how to build this out of foam board. So you're making tea?
Yes.
Okay.
That was actually what I went running in there because I set the water to boil before we started.
So don't use this cup for paint. Put that in the regular paint cup. She got those to drink out of, and she gets upset when we use them for paint cups. Use the empty one. Don't be growly. Don't be growly. And so this thing was built to those same specifications. So, and then I remember, I want to say they first came up with it in foam board. And then I want to say in the late 90s, when they were still using armor cast as their resin people, there was a resin version of this same bunker. Resin.
That's what you said.
My resin. Yes, I know. It's because I've been drinking already.
And not sharing. Oh, never mind. I'm already too up on you.
Yeah, but I threw vodka in here.
Oh, look. Your son has arrived.
You mean the boy that doesn't call me anymore?
Or me.
He doesn't love us anymore. What's
I
it
thought
torture?
my son loved me.
So, 4 sprues of terrain, and that's a lot of big terrain. So, I'd say for $80 to get a board, 2 full sets of terrain, and mission-specific stuff for running missions in the Wall of Martyrs is not bad at all. Let's take a peek of what we get in here. And he calls his father dude. Sorry, dude.
He doesn't even talk to me.
I love you, Ray. You know that.
I am unloved by my son.
So, a couple of nice board setups they show in here. It's pretty cool. One of the things I've often... Hey, this is interesting. They have specifically noted on here a few war worlds, like places where this... Yeah, I'm waiting on my Rampart terrain too. There was a notification. I want to say there was a notification last week or 2 weeks ago that they're starting to ship to the U.S. But the problem is they're limited in shipping 60 to 80 people a day because of weight limitations. And remember, they're coming from Croatia, Poland, somewhere in the Baltics, somewhere up there in the Baltics. So we'll get them. I have talked to a bunch of people in Europe. I've talked to a couple of people in the UK, and they've gotten theirs. Tomorrow, I know this for a fact. Yeah, Rampart terrain. Dude, when I get my Rampart box, I will do an unboxing for that. Rampart was a Kickstarter at the end of the year in 1999. 1999. Wow, I'm thinking about Ray here. At the end of 2019, there was a Kickstarter for a modular plastic Gothic or mechanical or temple terrain. Yeah, go get that tanky tank. I'm looking for that tanky tank. That tanky tank is going to look good. But it was a modular, it was a Kickstarter. Dude, it's amazing. It's going to look awesome when I get it. I should be getting it soon. I'm going to do an unboxing of it because I bought a double set and a double set of the accessories. So, what? What about her? Okay. So put it on. Yeah, it's fine. You can tack it on later.
You don't really need to pay the rest of it anyway.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. But like I was saying, on this War Worlds here, they've got a couple worlds noted, and they've got like Mordian and Shadowth Prime and Homage Prime. But the first place they know about, no War World in the Imperium, is more infamous, no more hauntingly bleak than Krieg. No, Zane, it did not. I have not gotten your box yet. Now, the reason I bring up Krieg is that I know
there'll be an unboxing for that.
Yeah. There is somebody in this chat that is looking to build a Krieg table. And I know he wanted to get this set at some point. And since the set itself is out of print, he is going to be forced to buy it in pieces. Sorry, Commodore. Mine. I found it first.
You know, he'll fight you for him.
Not if I prime and paint them first.
He'll still fight you for him.
Then I'll just stab him in the eye with a shrimp fork.
The hell is with you and eye stabbing people? We've talked about this.
Right in the eye. In the eye. Not the face. No, I didn't. I went right for the eye. And then along with other kill team, which is always great, they've got a couple boards, setups, and some mission-specific stuff so you can run special missions on this setup, which is pretty cool. They've got some board setups on here, so that's pretty cool. They show some ways to set up the board, which is that's really cool. They can show you they have a mission. You set up this way, and then it has a mission objectives. For those of you that never bought these kill zones, this is part of the reason why I really love these kill zones. I'm a big kill team fan, and I really, really like the kill team game as a whole, and having these kill zones which add new flavor to the game is just awesome. It really is just awesome. There's really no other way to put it. So being able to add flavor in this manner, I'm really hoping that they come up with more of these kill zones, because we have 4 of them now. We have... Oh, are you trying that iridescent green stuff? Or is that color shifting green? You're going to try it out and see if it works?
Worst case scenario, she gets stripped.
Yeah. So this is really cool. And then, of course, the cards, and what the cards do, they're new tactics that are only usable on this board. I'm not going to unwrap them, but there's a bunch of tactics that can only be used on this board, and a bunch of tactics that can only be used when you're in specific buildings.
I love you. The way you kept saying cards, I suddenly heard the Shadow Man. The cards, the cards, the cards will tell.
Oh, so you started using the oil wash I was talking about. That's awesome. You're very welcome, Weatherpig. Actually, I'm going to be using the oil washes on this set of terrain as planned, because I think oil washes will give it a nice weathered look. So that's cool. That's great. So that is the unboxing. I am super stoked. I was so happy to find these out there. And it's not like the individual pieces are not for sale. That's the one thing to understand. The individual pieces are still for sale. You can still get them. It's just nice having it all come in one set and have it available in one set, Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent. How is that diorama coming out for? You're filming that all so we can see it, right? I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of YouTube lately. He's doing a diorama. That was what he and I were talking about that one night I was chatting with him.
Mm-hmm. I would like to point out that for the last week and a half, I've been dead.
Yeah, she's had a really nasty flu, but it was not the Rona.
That was the first thing out of my mother's mouth.
It's not the Rona, is it? No, Mom, it's not the
Did
Rona.
you get tested? No, Mom. I didn't have any of the symptoms. Well, you're saying, Mom, I wasn't coughing. I didn't have a... You mean you've never seen my October?
No, Nate, I haven't seen your October. That's the whole problem. I've been wanting to work on my October stuff, and I haven't really been able to.
Mostly because he decided he wasn't going to do orcs.
No, I'm going to do my orc terrain, though. I still have all that orc terrain I'm working on.
You've got a lot more than orc terrain.
But, I mean, I've got a whole bunch of orc terrain. I just haven't had a chance to work on it. It has been a tough month. She's been down for a week and a half.
Oh, my God.
The plague child was down for a week with this flu. Both our dogs had this flu.
Yeah. I was making jokes saying I got it from the dogs.
Yeah.
But I think the dogs may have gotten it from me.
Yeah. Because it was the little dog had it first, and then the bigger dog. It's finally good from it today, but he was pretty lethargic for a couple days there. Pretty bad. And then...
Of course, I would like to point out that I took meds, put a mask on, and went to work anyway.
Yeah.
Because my work won't let me not come in. You sold your death guard.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the Plague Child's Necrons. Or do you want to?
How are the Plague Child's Necrons coming along?
You mean my Necrons?
No. They're not yours yet, but the Plague Child has not touched minis in a month. They keep saying, yeah, I'm going to work on them. And then they sit down and they look at the box.
And I go,
and then I'm going to go watch a TV show, or I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend. And that's fine.
Actually, recently, I'm going to go watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from episode 1 to the
Yeah, they're
last
binge
episode.
watching TV. They haven't been very motivated. Now, the other thing is that I, on the other hand, am very motivated, but I don't want to jump on Necrons yet.
And Senior Scorpex is starting to look really good.
So Senior Scorpic, well, that's the whole thing. I've got my box of Necrons. My Indominus box, that's mine. So they will be my Necrons. I have an idea for a paint scheme. I've been really debating paint schemes for a bit. And I finally think I've got one that I really like.
I wasn't able to stop him. I'm sorry. Kaiser, hello.
Hey, Kaiser. How you doing, buddy?
I wasn't able to stop him. I'm sorry.
On the other hand, the Senior Scorpic out of the Plague Child's box,
that's mine, isn't it?
may be taken over by Lady D here. Because you've got an idea of how you want to paint him for some reason. You've got this thing in your head how you want to paint him.
Not really. I just really, really wanted to paint him. And then I started thinking October, and we were talking about doing horror theme.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I kind of want to do him like Jack Skellington.
Yeah. And that's part of the other thing. To be honest, Orktober is really cool, and I like Orktober, and I'm not. I got
those of us who do orcs,
and I've got some orc terrain I really want to do. But the spooky part of October has really been what's drawing to me. So I'm working on a tutorial. Now that is a magnificent hat, Mr. Drake.
I am like seriously thinking about building an entire.
Well, no, that's the whole thing.
This is steampunk, darling. This is steampunk.
The Necrons I'm going to be doing. I'm going to make sure that the joints.
An orc Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
That would look cool. Nate, I want to see you do this.
No, you should do it.
No, I'm doing a Necron. I want to do a steampunk Necron now.
Well, I was thinking you would take a Night Haunt Reaper, hollow up the thing, and put an orc head in there.
You're assuming I'm willing to give up one of my Night Haunts.
I'll go get a box of cheapo Night Haunts.
She could just buy Night Haunt bits.
Yeah.
But you can't. Okay, this is looking really cool because it's actually brightening it up.
And you can't steal Lady D. It makes it no better than me.
Honey, you assume that he's the evil one.
I'm not evil. I'm naughty. She's evil. 2 Necron armies in one household. Yes. Yes, there will be 2 Necron armies in one household.
It's not painted, it's big D's.
Well, it's not even that.
No, see,
the reality comes down to, you can say what you can say. Say what you can say, and then I'll finish.
I was going to say, okay, so for me, the whole reason is I will not play Necrons. If I want to, then I will snatch or borrow somebody else's already painted thing. I don't have a theme for an entire army, so that's just me. Now, however, I really like the Silent King and Lord Scorpex's Senior Scorpex's designs. I mean, they're beautiful. They're elaborate and just so dynamic. And I love dynamic stuff. Unlike my husband, I will buy things purely to paint them. Like, I want so badly to get the Queen for the Sylvaneth, not Sylvaneth, the Sylvaneth elves in Age of Sigmar, or I would love to get my hands on the leader of the Stormcast on his Stardrake. Oh, but see, these are things I want to paint for myself. And unlike him, I like to paint to show off. I don't need them. So personally for me, not really. Yeah, see. Oh my God, I hate the Stardrake stuff. I like dynamic stuff, unlike my husband. Oh no, he likes dynamic.
I love dynamic.
He loves things that speak. However, he will not buy the figures unless he has a use for it.
Yeah, I don't buy units for armies I don't own.
Yeah.
Perfect example. I love those Gargants. I love the look of the new Gargants. I think they're absolutely amazing. I'm never gonna buy one. I can't see me. I can't see me getting one. No matter how cool, no matter how dynamic those miniatures are, I just can't see me spending $200 on a single figure that I'm not going to play.
Like, I desperately want a Magnus the Red. I want the Primarchs. I want the Primarchs so badly.
Now, on the other hand, if you got a Magnus the Red, though, you would play him.
But see, with Magnuses, I want to play Thousand Suns. So that's why Magnus and I just really like his figure. I also like his pre-heresy figure. I love the Primarchs because they're large, they're dynamic, they have lots of character. He's the exact same way. Just, what would you use them for?
Yeah. Because, I have my Primarch. I mean, I have...
Oh, that stuff is probably going into the Sprue Goo.
Sprue Goo!
He has an entire thing where he's been breaking down sprues into goo.
Look right there.
Your jar's right there. So you can see how full it is right now.
Sprue Goo. Yes. This stuff. We will have a video.
I have no idea what he's doing.
We will have a video later on where I will show everybody how to make. Well, it's not really hard to make. But I'll show people how to use it as a sculpting material.
Yes.
Think about this. You pull it out, you sculpt it, and then you have a miniature made of the same stuff that is. Sprue Goo. The only thing you have to be worried about with Sprue Goo is if you're building a framework to put it over, you can't build the framework out of sprue because it'll melt the sprue while it's drying. I saw somebody make that mistake. They're like, okay, and they built together this framework of sprue, and then they started pouring the goo over the sprue, and then it just kind of went.
That sounds like fun for me personally. I've been having hiccups today.
So yeah, no, the plastic on the sprue. This is getting built and painted. Like, this is
right now.
Well, I don't know how to paint it right now, but it's getting built right now.
And I'm working on my...
And that is a very important point. There are lots of uses for Sprue Goo. Got a figure that's got a gap. You take a little dab of this, mush it in there, and no more gap.
No more green stuff needed.
Yeah, this is basically what this is. This is homemade green stuff.
That stuff is toxic as hell.
Actually, no. To be honest with you, Kaiser, all sprue goo is, and the reason it's called sprue goo is because this is one of the 2 ingredients. That's about 10 miniature sprues chopped up into itty bitty pieces and put in the jar. And then the jar is filled up with acetone.
Am I the only one who's suddenly hearing, it puts the lotion on the skin? Behave where you're going in the jar.
Okay, here's the thing. Now you talk like that. I saw somebody make a great unclean one.
Yes.
Strictly out of a framework they built and using sprue goo as the flesh. It's pretty cool.
How heavy is it?
Well, I mean, it's just a framework over it. So, I don't know. So
it's like using sprue goo to paper mache.
Yeah, it's like sprue goo and paper mache. So I'm really thinking about
many things.
plastic, toxic, acetone, toxic. Well, I mean, this entire hobby, I mean, you really want to talk about it, it's toxic. I mean, do you sniff glue? I mean, the glue's toxic. This is just glue goo sprue. Ooh. I rhymed.
He's a poet. He knows it.
So it's as toxic.
She's shiny. It's doing exactly what I wanted it to.
Okay, cool.
I needed it to lighten up a little bit.
Okay, well, that's fun.
And I'm having fun.
Excellent. You're great. That's great. This hobby should be fun.
I should probably work sprue goo better than hot glue, which I saw somebody make some cans. Really? You might not want to say that too loud because we got somebody here who loves eating catans. He's in the chat.
So is Greg. He's a Catan eater as well.
I'm aware of that. I'm just saying he shouldn't be mentioning it so loud because the other Catan eater might want to share. It's like, ooh, you eat Catan?
Mm-hmm.
I eat Catan too. How's your favorite way of doing Catan? Do you flambe them or do you bake them? I heard baking is much more healthy. I'm sorry. I've had some serious...
I am a curious nerdling. Yeah, I mean, the drying time, the way I've heard it understood, is that you set it up and then put it in a well-ventilated place.
Curious nerdling. Would that be like our little meatball?
She's not a nerdling.
I don't know about that. No, you're right. She's more for corn.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can't see. My hand is like ripped up because of this kitten.
Yeah, see, my whole thing with hot glue is that I've tried using it for shaping and tried it for making stuff, even putting it into silicone molds that were designed for that, and it just never turns out right. So I gave up on that, and now that I've found that you can put sprue goo into silicone molds and it doesn't damage the molds. We're going to be making some skulls out of sprue goo. We're going to be making...
One of the skulls we're going to make is going to go on my big boy, who was my original chapter commander person.
No, I gave you the big Tyrion skull for that. Remember?
I thought we were going to put a dragon skull on him.
Well, I mean, I've got one of those too, but I've already got that made. I've got that sitting in there. I got a whole tube of them. Yeah. Well, dinosaur skulls. It looks dragon-like.
Tara loves hot glue, though. And, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, all it is it's just, like I said, you just chop them up into little, like, half-inch pieces, fill the jar. Here's the thing to remember. Do not put it in a plastic jar. Do not
melt.
Put it into a glass. I used a spaghetti jar. Tara Ray. That's Tara. That's Taizo, the Nurgle chick.
So Tara and I need to figure out how to make Nurgling plushie.
Shalom, Tara. Speaking of which, since that Greg and Tara live up in the falls.
Yes.
They live right by B-52s.
You may or may not get to see them. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I need to start making my Eldar masks. So when we start doing, ow!
What?
It's hurting myself.
So you can, when we start doing what?
When I start doing battle reports with people.
Your anti-salt covering masks.
Yes, so my whole thing, because I am a salty player, as many of you know from watching our battle against each other, it's awful. So I'm going to have full face masks that are going to be designed after the 3 factions of the Eldar. Mythos!
Wow.
I missed a show on the Friday because I was dead. Remember?
Yeah. Well, you should put the mask back on. Since we have more people watching now, you should put the mask back on real quick.
Yes. Mythos shall love this. You gotta check this out. It totally clashes with the rest of my outfit, but it's totally cool because I love it. Because Vulcan lives! And my hat needs to come back on.
So, yeah, I mean, what I'm going to be using this sprue glue for, I'm going to be building a wood framework for what I'm going to be putting it on.
Don't worry, Mythos. We're working on you, man. Because, Tara, we have a mask like this, except for it's a dirtier green.
Could you go grab it out of the car?
Yes, I
want to show it
can.
to Tara, yeah.
It's even better.
So Tuesday, you all will get to see my Space Wolf version of this mask that is being currently made for me. Yeah, I have a Space Wolf version. We're doing great. Yeah, you know, it's cool. Let me talk about that a minute, because that's actually, because you guys are fans, so it's okay to talk about this. Ray, okay, you tell me what to call you. If you want me to call you Ray, you want me to call you Taizo, whatever you want me to call you, I will call you, because that's how we are here. That is how we are. I mean, up to now, I've been referring, I didn't actually remember what your name was, so I've been calling you Nurgle Girl. Okay, so Taizo it is. That's all I need to know. I mean, here's the funny thing. You guys know me as, my real name, Adrian. And here, everybody calls me Big D, because that has been my nickname for a very long time. And it's all good. It's all good. So, I, last week, did not realize, before we pull it out, I didn't realize I had gotten into, because everybody had been sick, and I had been surrounded by sickness, and my job was going through some really crazy stuff last week. I had a really bad week. She knows about this. I had a really bad week at work last week. It was just crazy and stupid and aggravating and angering. And there was nothing I could do about it. And there was a lot of helplessness to feel with that. And here's the thing. I've talked about before. I've actually done a full episode on it before. I do suffer from depression. And there is a possibility that I might be manic depressive. I'm still working with a therapist to figure out if that's the whole deal, because I swing sometimes, and I'll get very, very, a very dark and aggro and angry place. And I can't always step back and see that once I get into that mindset. And
let me tell you, he has one of the most obnoxious songs in the world that he sings when he's in that mindset.
I get into this dark and obnoxious mentality, and it's not always visible to me right away. And I didn't recognize I was in that mindset. Honestly, and I want to thank I want to thank Restless Kaiser, honestly, because I don't always recognize what's going on, because it is chemical. And when you called me on it, like, hey, are you okay? You know, you're being kind of, it's not that big. And I don't remember exactly what you said, but what it was you said to me made me kind of step back. And that's 20 plus years, 25 years of therapy. Having something said, it made me go into the non-emotional part of my brain and go, whoop, hang on, D, what are you doing? And it made me recognize that I was starting to devolve down into a very dark space without realizing it. And if I don't realize it, it will spiral pretty bad. And I get into a very negative, dark place. And people don't like being around me when I'm like that. And I don't like being me when I'm at that point. And that's the thing, which is why I'm very big on therapy and talking about your problems and working with
awareness.
Yeah, because you need to have awareness of this. And
it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's just the reality of what it is. And like I said, I got to thank you, Kaiser, because you saying something made me realize where I was going. And yeah, that's exactly it. The lockdown is just insane for people like me that are
super social.
I'm super social, and social is one of my therapies because, and this is going to sound weird because people who know me aren't going to always pick this up. I have a tremendous amount of social anxiety. And I get over it
by being around.
By overcompensating. By being, hi, here's Big D. And I gotta be out there to be, to just be back to normal. And again, so thank you, Kaiser. You actually saying something during my stream made me realize I was reacting to I dislike change, and it started me down a very dark spiral. You saying something let me go, hang on, reel back, and think about, why am I getting all angry about this? I really don't have any reason to be upset about this. And for those of you that stuck with the stream and actually went a little long, because I kind of went, actually, I got to walk that back because I don't feel that strongly about it. So, that was the thing. I was upset about something with the index that I really didn't have a reason to be angry about. There really is nothing wrong with the index. There's actually a lot of good stuff. I just, for whatever reason, there were changes. And as a caveman, change frightened Gronk. Oh, not good.
You should see him when he comes home and I've rearranged.
Oh my God. So yeah, that was.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
The exact.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. It was this sudden change, and I have to change the way, and this change, and that, and the next thing you know, just with all the instability I have at work right now, and being fed up because half my family is down sick, and me not being able to go out and be around people and hang around with people and be a social creature. Live streams like this and my Discord are really like 90% of my social life now. And that's not a bad thing, but it's not the same. So I'm very thankful to our fandom and our friends that hang out with us when we do these live streams. And again, if you see me spiraling into don't be afraid to say anything. I appreciate it. I really do. Because I've had a lot of therapy on this stuff, so I can recognize it, but sometimes I don't see it when I'm in the midst of it. My wife is really good at picking it out when I'm having one of those spirals.
Especially when he sings the damn song.
Yeah.
I'm not singing the song because
it's obnoxious.
It's not that. I worry about monetization given the lyrics of said song. It's one word, and he just says it over and over again to this D. No, it's not moist.
No.
Diggity. No, it's not Diggy Hole.
No, it's not.
Not Diggy Hole.
It's not Diggy Hole.
If he's in a good mood, I get to hear
Diggy Diggy
I
Hole.
am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. No.
Diggy Diggy Hole. Diggy Diggy Hole. No,
And then recently I made the mistake introducing him to a group that I happen to like. And do you have any idea how many times I've heard Mic Drop by BTS in the last week?
I like K-pop. So anyhow, Mythos, anytime, my brother. You know, you're my brother from another mother. Anytime you need to talk, man, I'm there for you.
You know, we're always happy to listen to you.
And that's the thing. We are a community and we support each other. Now, back to what I started this whole thing about. I got a new mask too. Now, this was on my Instagram. But the Death Guard is coming. It is coming for you.
Vulcan lips, fuck you. We thought you would like that, darling.
And the thing is, it's comfortable. It's breathable.
Both of them are very lightweight. She does an amazing job.
But it's got a nice pincer here at the thing, so I can actually put on my glasses.
And there's no fogging.
And I'm breathing, and I'm not getting fog in the glasses. So Taizo, that's what you want to be known as.
Taizo.
Like the next time. Does she do Sisters of Battle?
Yes.
Yes.
She's working on figuring out how to do one.
No. She's already got it figured out. She want to make sure she had the colors. Because
I just got what she was saying. Hands down, fuck my blue one. That's okay. I need to get a Yanari one.
She sat down with me to get this set up.
I had to edit out the part of the podcast where we talked about kaiju because he deserves the credit for what he did. And it's not tearing your ears off.
It's fine. And it's not tearing your ears off. No, that's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. This is elastic.
She did a really good job.
It's really cool because
making them very.
It's on. I mean, this is on solid.
Snug.
It's snug with a nice fit. The elastic holds it in place, but it's not yanking at me. It is very comfy. It is super comfy. I mean, it really, because of the way it fits, it's snug all the way around the face. You got a really good design for it.
Yeah.
But the elastic, it's on there to hold it in place, but it's got play to it. So the mask fits really well. The elastic's really nice. And the elastic has a nice soft cover to it.
Whereas mine, she designed them so that you can adjust them to your own desire.
Yeah, I don't need the filters for mine. Just in case.
But mine.
She was testing the filters, so she got the test one.
Yeah.
With a.
Good thing I get paid for it. $25.
They're $25, and no problem.
Yeah, if you want one, just let us. For those of you who want one, please send a message to myself or Dee via Instagram.
Yeah, just do it via Instagram. It's the easiest way.
Because consequently, the person lives with us, so she makes these. Like you said, 25 a piece. You can ask if you want the pocket for filter or not, and if you want adjustable hoops, or if you want them sewn in like his are.
Yeah,
these are really nice because it's actually very
well. If you get the filter, they're not adjustable. So if you get the filter, you're gonna get the tieable ones.
Yeah.
If you get like this, you can get them like that.
And she makes them out of 100% cotton, so they're very lightweight, which is really nice
because it's multiple layers, it's a solid filter.
Yeah. So you get a solid, the filtration because but some people prefer. All right, so we have one for Necron and one for. I'm gonna write this down so that I can get to it after.
And absolutely. And then on Tuesday, I'm gonna be showing off because she's getting a little fancy with my wolf one. My wolf one's gonna be two-toned. So it's gonna be on my left cheek, it's gonna be yellow, that bright Averland Sunset yellow. She had me pick up the fabrics, so I made sure the colors are right. So it's gonna be the Averland Sunset yellow with the wolf on the left cheek, and then Space Wolf gray on the right side.
Yours would be considered extra large, right?
Mine's a men's. There's two sizes: men's, women's.
Okay. And Taizo, you want yours in the women's size, right? Which is what mine
She's
is.
bitty. She might actually.
I'll just write small women's because I think that
Boone does have a second smaller women's
or
size.
Kinder. Kinder is a small little petite thing. You guys have seen her.
Some of you have met her.
Yeah. So I'll just tell her to a Kinder sized.
I had to edit the part of the podcast where we talk about kaiju, but he deserves credit for what he did. Yeah. So
it's fun having a big mouth, darling.
You remember what she looks like, right?
Yes.
I don't know. My wife sometimes
big mask, please.
Okay, so the regular Steve.
All right,
your
so
size.
just women's size.
Yeah, the women's size.
And Greg, you said you wanted Necrons.
So Greg, I need to know what color do you want the underneath? We can do the Necron symbol in white or black or gold. I just need to know what color cloth you want underneath.
Yeah. Because we don't do white for the inside clothing because nobody wants to see all that dirt.
Yeah, that gets nasty. So yeah, the other reason they're doing this is hobby time because
he is white on the right side. All of his people I am white on the left side. Gold. Okay, so
it's just tell me what color cloth you want it on.
Black and gold.
Yeah, we can do just black
cloth,
with
the gold thing.
Yeah,
right?
we can do that.
And for Taizo, my darling, same as his. The green with the black.
Solid reference there, Kaiser. Solid reference. It's a Star Trek reference. It's an old Star Trek reference.
Yes, please. The darker, the better. All right, so we're gonna just do it straight as D's, and then we're doing it was black with gold.
Yeah.
Okay. And then black and gold.
You know the best part you can upset a Star Trek fan.
Huh.
You can talk about that reference you just made. It's an old reference, but it checks out.
Even I'm not that. All right, so okay, I've got you two down. Not sure how long it'll take, but you guys are down, and we will reconvene another time. Like I said, if anybody else wants one, please let us know. We will be happy to.
And I'll be showing off a few of the more of them because she's using me as a test model for the male size. So I'm getting an Orc one.
He's getting an Orc one that's going to have his
Death Skulls.
It's going to be blue on one side for the Death Skulls, and then I think there was talk about doing one that's checkwork pattern.
Yeah, she's going to try and find if you can actually find checkerboard.
Oh, that's easy. They have them at.
They have diamond pattern, not checkerboard. Clip. Man. Remember that weed grows like this every time I come to bed? It was because I was making Sprugo.
I'm going to go add sugar to my tea just so I don't make the comment that is currently going through my head.
That's lovely. Bring me a Dr. Pepper when you come back.
We don't have any.
Yeah, we have.
No, we got Dr. Cheese.
Whatever. Oh, wait a minute, Ryan. I have drink left.
I was about to say, don't you still have something over there left? I have even
Batha, you're welcome. Because everyone should know my pain. If I'm going to be in pain, y'all need to be in pain. Pain is life. Pain is the failing of weakness leaving the body. Okay, I gotta say, I'm gonna quick turn the camera down. I really like this terrain. This is good stuff. Digging this stuff. So yeah, even if you don't get this specific kit, they offer these terrain kits just through GW. And if you're looking to, if you're putting together some terrain for yourself, you want to have a board for your own gaming, I mean, this is pretty cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool looking, isn't it?
That's really cool.
And I didn't glue it together.
Are you going to magnetize it to tablets to know?
No. No, it's got actually nice little slots built into it. It's got it's got little tabs built into it so they can lock in place. I'm going to do the same thing with this that I'm doing with my pipes. So what I'm doing with my pipes is when I set them up to play for a game, I have a giant bag, and I want to say it's like a half pound. It's like a half pound block of poster putty or blue tack. That's really great. Now, don't forget about the army tick off.
I didn't. I just finished messing
So
with
she's using some non-modeling paints that are these color shifting.
Plaid, Martha Stewart, and folk art. All folk art, which is this is folk art's got a number of different ones. I got these ones, and I've got some other ones, but I don't know what happened to them because of my child. But I just wanted this color specifically because my salamanders are emerald, very specifically emerald green. And her base is actually, because this stuff is mostly translucent, her base is actually used warp green. It's, in this case, it's more of a shifting color.
It looks shimmery. That's the thing.
It doesn't get a shimmering look. Because it's a single color.
Yeah, it doesn't really show very well. But actually, no, hang on. Let me show. Actually, it does show pretty good there. If you look right there on the power pack, it's got this shimmery green.
Shimmer, because I picked just green color shift. So all it does is add like a metallic sheen. So it's very nice.
It's going to be very cool. I like that. Her Sala ladies are going to be really cool looking.
Yeah, and because their colors are this color and white. Their second major color on them is going to be white and gold. Hints of gold in there. The entire idea around my girls, which eventually I will sit down and actually do my Building a Crusade where I talk about them, is that the whole idea of them of being the Aegeus or the Emerald Aegeus is that they're based on a guild that I had once upon a time in a game called Rift by Triumph. And I tend to do this where I create groups, thank you, where I do groups that are based on protecting. We are the bulwark between the people and their threats. We are the ones who stand when others would run. And because the salamanders are very much all about protecting the people because life is precious to them because their planet sucks. And it's very inhospitable. So I figured using my Aegeus coupled with some other stuff that I've got, because I have another group that we will be, hopefully, I can get off my ass and get to this. We have a story that we've been building since we met 9 years ago.
8 years ago. Met 9 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 9 years ago, we put the story together where he helped me, where you've got two individual groups that their whole thing is, we will protect the people. Both groups got a slightly different difference of opinion over who the people are. One group is anyone who's not us, and the other one is anyone who's like us. Real quick, because I'm probably going to go into this in my own videos, so I don't want to take too much time away from this fandom and crafting. Modern time, slice of life, supernatural based, where you have these two groups that both want to protect the magical community in modern day from everyone else. Because what do people do when they are confronted by something that is different from them or that they don't understand it? Well, let's look at the X-Men. He's bad news. So for whatever reason, well, there at one point when the Inquisition and the execution of magical creatures was going on, one of the groups made the decision to parlay with the Vatican and the Church, who were hunting down anything that wasn't Christian, and basically went, look, you keep to your side of the line, we'll keep to our side of the line, and they acted as the bulwark in between, keeping the magical community away from, normal people. Well, training people in the magical community how to maneuver in and out of regular society unseen, and they basically acted as a police force. Whereas the second group does kind of the same thing, except I think they're more like the mafia.
No,
and they only protect magical.
They take the magical and they remove them and put them into protected areas away from where mortals would do anything to them, and then teach them how to use mortals against themselves.
So, and ironically enough, this is not the bad guy. That's why I said think of it, it's like you're dealing with a police force and you're dealing with a mafia. They kind of both want to protect, but one is very specific.
Well, and it's very funny because
one has a lot less.
The other group is the group that my Space Marines are based on.
Yes.
The ones that I'm talking about in my series.
All about survival of the fittest. If you're not magical, well, then you're not really our problem.
So the only change to that to make them into the world of 40K for my guys are...
Yes, actually, we made this up completely.
Yeah, 100%.
I started with the police group. They're known as Hunter. Back when I was 16 years old, based on a dream I had. Mortal Gods game? No. Half naked Greek men oiled for battle. Ooh.
Is that the game that you guys were doing the unboxing from last week? Because I've been meaning to watch the battle report for that.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, it sounds like I would like much fun with that. But yeah, no, we came up with it. I created Hunter and its basis based on a dream I had when I was 16, and it has since moved. Oh, it's a Warlord game.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, it sounds like you like Warlord. So we're actually looking at getting
a couple of different games
from Warlord. There's skirmish game that you do all the figures on a single base. She really liked the idea of doing these big terrain-like bases that you could stick entire units on. I did too.
So you've got Hunter, and Hunter is hiding a secret from the world that is part of their deal that they made with the Vatican, and it's the way that we set it up. You end up with two stories that are running parallel, where you have these two groups that are running side by side each other and have occasionally bumped but never really crossed paths throughout history for the last 49,000 years. And so there's this huge love story element in it, because within Hunter, there's a girl who is basically the one true love of the leader of the mafia style group of Dragon is his name. He's known as the Great Dragon of the Ouroboros. He's where the stories of modern Lucifer and the devil and the deal making comes from. I mean, he is the guy who created originally the biblical 4 horsemen that would later be transcribed and written down in the Bible, because they predated the Bible. These guys are all, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. You want answers? Go read a history book. They don't talk.
And Dragon is a character based on I've got 2 books written about him already. At least a variation of the story. I've been writing about him.
I wanted to use his real name, and he's like, you can't use his real name. I go, yes, I can, because guess what? The owner of the name is right next to me, Dialthagar.
Yeah. So I've written and published 3 books, and the character...
I have picture.
Yeah, the character that I've been working on, and like I said, my Space Marine chapter are based on his organization, which is why there's this whole. They've got four main captains. They've got the first 4 companies lined out. Actually, the first 5 companies, because first company is run by him, and then second company is run by his major domo, and then the next 4 companies are run by his 4 captains. So I'm using that lore in there, but that's why there's this obsession with death, because it fits all into the whole story thing. Which picture of Dealthic are you showing?
The only one current updated picture.
Oh, the current updated picture.
So this is eventually going to be scanned in and colored. You cannot take it away from this piece. Otherwise, they won't be able to see behind it.
Okay. So then let me grab this and bring it up to the camera. All right, let me bring the camera forward. There we go.
All right. So this, if you guys can't tell, this is a huge passion for me. All right. Let me bring it down just a little bit. All right,
so as I said before, you've got the dude, his major domo, and then his
4 horsemen.
4 horsemen, the 4 generals. So actually, famine, pestilence, war, and death. And his major domo is an unseelie fae that has been at his side for
10,000 years?
15,000 years.
15. That was it.
That's the thing. The other thing about this whole fantasy setting world, and that's the thing to realize, unlike a lot of other fantasy, it's a little, we're dealing with, it's a vampire.
I can't wait to color this.
Yeah.
And I should take this to get scanned.
You should.
I don't think I have this one scanned.
Yeah. There's a lot of fantasy settings or urban fantasy.
So who wants to see the other picture?
A bit. Death is looking a bit Lilu.
Little Lou.
Lilu, I don't know what that means, but
She's this is a woman who has
yeah, Chikan.
Except for she's got slightly less clothing on.
Yeah, that's the whole. No, not really. Not as the white outfit. She got about the same amount of clothing as the. Yes, took me a second. Yeah. She's got about the same amount of clothing as the white outfit.
And then here's the other one that I had with me just to show off.
She's now working on colorize the digital version.
Actually, I'm pretty close to the digital version being done. This does not belong to me, ladies and gentlemen. This will actually be copies of it. Of the digital version of it will be available for sale, as well as the colorized version. This is actually a friend of mine's. You guys,
Hellchild, friend of the channel.
Hellchild, dear friend of the channel, my Viking heathen brother. This is actually his. This is his leader of his Eclipse Stalkers, his custom wolf chapter. So
yeah, this is the thing. This is why I get crazy about her painting, because I'm a writer. And that's the thing. I take pride in the fact that I'm a really good writer. And I'm a pretty good painter. But I'm a writer. She is an incredible artist. And for those of you people that paint, I will still never forget the first figure I handed her to paint. She decided to do a wet blend flame up the front of the figure in the very first tabard she did. And it was this gorgeous, perfect.
This is what he looks like currently.
So, I love the fact, and the story we're working on, we're trying to do it as a manga styled comic book /
where it's going to be mostly black and white, except for there are splashes of color, like with
mainly red. Red's a big part of it, though, because
well, the story focuses around this girl. Her name is Janelle, but everyone calls her Nell for short. Long story short, she ends up finding out that on her 16th birthday, she found out that she's not really human. She is actually the physical embodiment of the element of fire. basically a goddess.
And that's the big thing. When you see a lot of urban fantasy, they always
Doesn't deal well with finding this out.
Yeah. The thing is, in a lot of cases, when you deal with urban fantasy,
In her case, not so great.
you start off with characters that are, oh, I'm a vampire, or I'm a werewolf, oh, I'm a wizard that's reluctant. In this case, this whole storyline is she is a goddess that gets dragged into a war between three sets of gods. And that's the main conflicts of the whole story, is that you've got...
And she's been doing this over and over.
Because there are a set of gods that they die, and then they physically die, and then their godlike soul be reborn into another person.
And they can have kids, which is how their new forms are born, based genetically on who carries their genes.
Now,
I'm a wizard, mind you.
Now, the thing is...
So she starts out, and happy birthday, not so great, because it turns out that
she gets caught in the middle of one of the wars. That's the whole thing.
They find her, and to take her out before she wakes up, they kill her family too, so that they can't spread their genes, because the genes came from her family, so they can't have them having children. So they kill them. She gets woken up, so to speak, and spends the next 2 years being trained by a bunch of people that are like, look, you're a weapon. This is what you got to do. Let's go.
And so that's the whole thing. You've got the dark gods are the one faction, and then you have them being trained by the group of gods that are training her people, that are these... We work with humanity to try and hide our presence from humanity.
We work with humanity because humanity is good.
But and then
we're
there's
not really part of humanity.
And that's the thing. Then there's a third faction. Are you guys writing a book? Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Except we're not doing it as...
We want to do it as a graphic novel.
That's the whole thing. We're not doing it as word fiction. That's why that's actually a character test shot for working out the costuming and the characters themselves.
For Dragon, I've got another
For
one
Dragon and his...
that I will be doing, because for what her race, what Janelle's race are called, they're called Tielmians. There are 9 of them, and then they end up finding out through some cosmic oops, there's 9 more.
Yeah.
And her because they're known as the first generations, they're all elemental.
Yeah. So there's that's the thing, and that's all about. There's these old gods and these new gods, and there's conflict. There's the shadow gods, the bad guys. There's the god, but his shadow gods, and then there's the Tielmians, and then there's
their organization trying to protect.
And then the thing is, they come from quasi cosmical type beings, and then there's the other god and his organization,
Dragon,
and he is the god of Earth. He is the god of, as he says it in the book,
I am the god of free will.
I am the god of free will. I am bound. I am one with this world. As long as this world exists, so will I.
And they promptly all start laughing at him, because they're like, there's no such thing.
Yeah, that doesn't exist. Well, as in the gods of Asgard, yes.
Two of them are actually where some of those stories came from.
And that's one of the beautiful thing. The stories we've been weaving into this.
Two of them are twins, and they're known as Ifrit, and the other one refuses to go by any other name but Thor.
He fell in love with it when he got introduced to it, and he's gone by nothing ever since.
That's what he got called during that time. So he's like, no, I'm Thor.
And they're basically the story of
Loki and Thor.
Loki is the problem is it's not just Loki. It depends what mood he's in at the time, because he's like Heimdall, and sometimes he's like Loki.
What?
Something fine.
I think.
Oh, that's Mini
Mormont.
Yeah.
What's this? Oh my god.
Well, that's the whole thing. We've been like I said, we started this whole idea. Okay, the whole story of how the story came to be is its own thing.
City of Heroes.
I had been writing the story of Dragon and his band.
I have this fucking song in my head. Thank you, Mini Warbot.
I have been writing the story of Dragon and his band of bad guys. They started off. I was writing them as a bad guy. I was writing them as bad guys. I was writing a story from the perspective of
still are monsters.
They're bad guys.
So basically, who kills them all and takes them?
Dragon does, as a matter of fact. That's Dragon's big play. Oh, you crossed me. You're going into the gym.
Yep, that ends up coming into play later.
You're going into the gym. So I was writing up these guys, and I was playing them in City of Heroes.
It's where we met, actually.
And she was playing her other guys, and we came across each other.
And he ended up bringing to life.
And so I brought to life one of her. They wanted me to play one of the characters that didn't really have much of a personality, but we were role playing it, and they wanted to kind of take him over and give him a personality. And yeah, exactly. That's
10 batteries.
That's pretty much the way. That's pretty much the way Dragon sees it. Oh, look, you're a bad guy. Boop, into the gym. I'll use you to power something later.
Like at one point, we should point out that in this story, you find out what Dragon did during World War II to some Nazis.
Nazis. Give me your toys. It's interesting. Like I said, so back to it. I was writing Dragon and his people independently. She was writing the Tealmians independently. And she'd been writing them independently for 10 years. I've been writing Dragon.
We played City of Villains too.
Yeah, I've been playing. Well, and that was the whole thing. Dragon was the leader of his organization in City of Villains.
Whereas Nell was the leader of her organization.
In City Heroes. And we played both sides. And the thing is, I had been writing Dragon in various forms for a while. They were their own separate storylines, their own separate story ideas. We started talking and became we were friends, and we started bouncing ideas back and forth and found that the two stories really meshed together well. And as time has gone on, as we've been fleshing this out and writing things down and fleshing it out and working on it and working on characters and fleshing out background stories, there have been huge, massive character changes based on stuff that we've...
What I can't see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Evil Master. I mean, that was great. City of Villains was awesome. Dragon in that game was a mastermind as well, except he summoned undead. But that was the whole thing. The two stories just meshed together really well. And as time went on, we just found ways to make it work. And we've rewritten each other's characters. I mean, there was, like I said, she wanted me to flesh out a character they had really no idea for a personality of. And the first thing I did was I gave them an accent and an attitude that they weren't expecting. And they kind of fell in love with it. Because
He uses an air cannon to shoot. First, it was kickballs to teach them how to dodge. And then it became bowling balls.
You're gods. Get out the way.
We're learning math today. But don't dodge it. Until the doctor came along, she goes, okay, seriously, I have to reset another fucking broken shoulder because of you.
So, I mean, that was the whole thing. We'd started off just kind of helping each other flesh each other out. And then a year after we met, she moved out here to kind of start life over. And then we started writing it together. And there were pieces that got completely, utterly changed. And Dragon went from being a unredeemable bad guy to...
You felt kind of bad for the baby.
You find out he's not evil. He just has he has a lot of baggage, and a lot of it is a hatred for humanity because of everything that humanity had taken away from him.
Like every single time he finds this woman, he falls in love, and the first time he really fell in love was in the year 400 AD-ish, in China with a dancer whose name was Sun Da. She was killed.
And so it becomes this really great. So there's historical pieces to it, and there's some nice set pieces in there. And yeah, a lot of the way we did it was we pulled on historical gods from a lot of different pieces. Dragon, the story of Dragon pulls on stories from some ancient Mesopotamian mythology that I'm familiar with. A historical figure from pre-imperial China, a general known as the Golden Dragon, that nobody knew who he was, and once some certain things were in place, he kind of disappeared out of history, and they don't know what happened to this guy.
Don't forget Turkey.
Yes, and then
shows up.
Yeah, so there was a lot of different pieces that I pulled in.
It's directed by Tim Burton.
Actually, no, it'd be more of a Joss. If you understood all the, because there's so much humor involved in it too.
Joss Whedon.
It's a Joss Whedon film, because there's also this massive cavalcade of characters. Because you got Delphigar or Dragon, who's based on all these different dark deities throughout time, as well as semi-deific people. And then you've got the other side where they've got the god of fire that's based on that, the god Ishtar is pulled from, and
not the fire person.
Yeah,
the fire person is not Ishtar.
Oh, that's right, Ishtar's war. Sorry. So like I said, there's all kinds. There's huge amounts of back and forth that we pull on different mythologies from different worlds that these gods have pulled from at different times in their history. And I mean, there's been characters that have been rewritten on both sides. They originally had an idea for one of their elementals, and I was like, that's lame.
Precious stones.
Yeah, and I was like, that's lame. It should be, if you're going to combine those two.
Yeah, these guys.
Well, no. Some of them are that young. That's the fun thing about it. But yeah.
Some of them are younger than that.
Yeah, I mean, but like the whole thing is like, no, precious stones, no, sand.
So now we have a character who's based on sand, whose name is Farron, and she looks like a skateboarder.
Yeah, she sand surfs. She doesn't snowboard. She sandboards. So it's an interesting character.
Oh, it must be home.
Probably.
So, no, it's like little things like that, and
we found that our creativity meshes off each other really well. So
yeah,
writing has been a joy.
And consequently, my entire Salamanders is very heavily influenced by them. Like my captain here is actually based on Nell. So,
and
a little bit more personable version of Nell. A lot of more personable version of Nell. Nell, by the time Nell gets into full story, she's not a very...
She's angry at the world.
She's very angry at the world. She suffers from depression. And she's just being told over and over again, you're not a person. You're basically nothing but a living weapon for us to use against these shadow demons that are threatening life and humanity. And if a threat comes up that we deem necessary, then you get to go out into the world. But otherwise, that's all you're good for. You live, you fight, you die. Repeat.
And a big part of the story is what happens when Nell comes across Dragon, and Dragon's like, you're not a weapon. You're a god. You shouldn't be used as a tool for humanity. Humanity should worship you for what you are. This great protector, creator, and mistress of one of the creating forces of humanity. And that's really Dragon's biggest argument. It's really the reasons, because he's so jaded against humanity,
he doesn't get the idea that they serve humanity. So he gets the laugh of his life when he ends up meeting one of the youngest members who looks like she's 6. And she's the most mature one of the group. She's just like, they have forgotten. I have not.
I think that's why the dogs are barking.
So Oh, and by the way, her name is Loea or Pele. She is lava. She doesn't like fighting because, well, fighting is just pointless and it doesn't really solve anything. And if I decide to do anything,
I get in trouble because,
I'm lava.
I blow up islands.
Last time I got mad, I took out an island. Sorry, the people of Pompeii still haven't forgiven me for that.
Yeah. So and that's the thing. There's a lot of like small humor in there. Like glitch comes later. I'm talking early on, like pestilence.
Pestilence, the eternal 13-year-old.
Pestilence is the embodiment of disease. Pestilence was a normal human boy that had magical abilities, but was dying due to cancer. So one of Dragon's people brought him to Dragon's attention. Dragon was like, you know what?
He was brought to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Death found him, brought him to Dragon's attention, and then Renee, who was the current person of disease, like, I'll keep him. And so through a series of, he eventually becomes the replacement for Renee, and he becomes Pestilence. But he was 13 when he was found. He kind of doesn't want to grow up. So even though he was found in like 1962 or 1963,
something like that,
it's now set in the year 2020. He's still 13.
Because that's what he wants to do.
He wants to be a kid, and he's going to stay a kid forever because he just wants to be that. So he's this...
And he refuses to cut his hair.
Refuses to cut his hair because he was from the early 60s, and he was part of the hippie movement. So it's just like...
And he had no hair.
He had no hair because of the chemo. So, he's got knee-length hair, and he runs around with disease-ridden squirrels. Because he's kind of a nature, that's the whole thing. He's the effective modern equivalent of a druid, but also with necromancy. So he just uses the druidic nature of disease. Because disease is natural.
Yep. And then there's Death, who is one of my more favorite characters, honestly. She was in the concentration camp. She was 16 during the camps. And she is Romani, and what is known as a death speaker. She can see spirits and can help them move on. And she got found.
The whole World War II storyline that we eventually do as a flashback scene is very interesting because it's like, why are we doing anything about these horrible things they're doing? Because they're humans. Who cares what they do?
He was basically going into the camps and
finding magical beings
and rescuing them. And he was playing on Hitler's, desire for supernatural things.
What's the story? Love, disappointment, or best of all, betrayal? Love and acceptance. Ultimately, it is a love story about
accepting not only who you are, but everything about you.
What your place in the universe is, what your place in the world is, and accepting yourself. Because that is in essence the whole problem. Dragon refuses to accept what he is. He refuses to accept that he exists to protect humanity. Because he's been hurt by humanity so many times, he's decided that humanity exists to serve him or to not be dealt with. And Nell's whole thing is the acceptance of herself and not being human and being okay with not being human. Because in the end, she's just like, I'm just a tool. I'm just a weapon. I'm just a creature. And
my family died because I am.
Right. And it's her coming to terms with the fact that I have a reason to be. I exist for a purpose. And I need to accept that and be okay with it. So it's in the end, it's a story of love and acceptance. It's a beautiful story. It's also long as hell, but it's again written as a manga, so it's got definite chapters to it. There's huge story arcs, and we've been drafting up parts of it. It's one of those pet projects that we're hoping to someday be able to get to.
Hi, we are live. The plague child is in the building. All right. What do you think so far? Let's get this on. That was not what I meant.
What do you think, guys? I like it. I think that front guard needs a second coat, but I think you're good. If you're trying to make those that's okay. You want to use thin coats. 2 thin coats.
Oh, there's already 2 thin coats on that day.
Oh, you need thin coats.
So yeah. Now that we've talked your ears off about that idea.
So again,
it's a labor.
A large portion of what she's doing with her death, I should say
these guys,
her salamanders, is based on her hunter personas.
Yes.
A lot of my marine group that I'm doing building the crusade, that I did the first video and I threw off the entire army and I started over, which I'm going to keep it in there because I think it's a perfect thing. I'll talk about that in that next video. But they're based on Dragon's organization, the Death Speakers. Because the Death Speakers, when they talk about it, it's actually a little bit more than what we just did with it. There's a lot more to them, and that's why it's important that Death is actually a Death Speaker, because it ties back to some of the lore from that world. So the fact that I'm calling these guys Death Speakers, not using that specific lore, but using some of the psychers in that manner.
By the way, I should let you all know this is the first time in probably a month and a half I've actually painted.
That's excellent. Well, today's hobby night. Hobby night. Wow. They're running through the room. Running through the room and making that monitor wiggle. Makes the camera wiggle. They're teenagers. I don't think about what they do anymore. Just let them be. So yeah, happy hobby night.
I mean, I could be sharing the screen or doing color.
You're fine. You've been wanting to paint for a bit, and you've been working on that drawing quite a bit. So taking a break to spread around your artistic capabilities is not a bad thing. Yeah. Teenagers, don't try to understand them.
I used to be a teenager and I still don't get it. Do you think I should do the flat and white, or should I try and do that flaming? The skirt.
I understand what you're talking about.
Or should I just keep painting for right now and let you mull it over?
Well, look how you can do the caping.
Blacks, reds. I was thinking kind of the way that I did the wings for my
Okay.
Valka.
So then I think you should do that flap in white.
Okay.
Or whites and grays, yeah. All right. 3 sprues down and drying. On to the last sprue.
So, yay!
You know, I haven't once looked at my instructions. I don't think there are instructions.
Building my first TT combat scenic kit. Not bad.
Oh yeah, TT Combat is some
Ruined
good stuff.
Coffee shop. Got my first battle mat. Now to add more terrain. Sounds good, Mormont.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, by the way, for those of you who are paying attention, Plague Child's blonde now. I'm back to purple.
Yep.
I'm about to be the color of Drake. When I was a teenager, we had it was screwed in the kitchen.
That's her. When I was a kid.
No, when I was a kid, we had wireless phones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
and photographs. Yeah, no.
Yeah. See, when I was a kid, yes, there were two phones in the house. One was in the kitchen, mounted to the wall, and one sat in the living room. And you had to.
I love those. Those were so much fun. My grandmother had one.
You had to use that to get it to work. And
you have to call the operator and ask them to connect.
I wasn't that old, for God's sake.
Hey, I would like to point out that your ass called me old.
Well, look at you. Look at it like right here. We're dyeing your hair later this week. I still have that thing in black. You're black.
But you like to wear the red hair.
I don't care.
I prefer being red, black hair.
Maybe use black to black.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I go blonde?
No. I vote no for that. I'm not old. I just have mileage.
Oh, I just leveled up. I level up this month too.
Yes.
How's that birthday party planning coming along?
It's going great.
See, I started to plan my own birthday, but
COVID happened.
Honey, I don't think you guys can see the gray in my hair right here.
Yeah, I am right. Now, I think, the black would be fine. Yay! Damn file. I wonder. I'm looking at the bunker. Huh.
I'm expecting some high quality outfits from you guys.
For Halloween.
Should I tell them what I'm making?
Yes. Yes. High quality. Raffle stomp.
So, I may or may not have gotten approval to dress up for work. And I may or may not have decided that I am going to go to work dressed as a unicorn. Not just any unicorn, a candy corn unicorn.
So a candy unicorn.
Yes.
Because for some reason, my wife likes candy corn. I don't understand it.
I don't ask you.
Not Morticia Adams. She's done that one too recently.
No, I have never been Morticia Adams. Actually.
Really?
Yeah. I have never actually done Morticia Adams.
You got the dress. You just wore that gothy out one. You didn't actually do the Morticia Wheels on a Passing Party.
What gothy out dress?
Do you know which one I'm talking about?
The one with the open back?
Yes.
Okay, one. That's not Morticia's outfit.
I don't care. Close enough.
Two. That's just my everyday dress. So, no. No, I'm going to make a headdress It has a unicorn's horn that is in candy corn colors. And then I am going to make a mane out of tulle in the candy corn colors.
I love Tool. Maynard is my favorite singer.
Unscrew a light bulb, throw a light robe on him, and Big D could be a dead ringer for Uncle Buster. He's got too much.
Hey now. Hey now. That would mean I'd have to shave my face, and that's not happening until January or February.
March. You normally make it until March.
Yeah, I've gotten to the part of the year where now the fur is going to grow.
It's kind of amusing because every year around this time he goes, you know, I think I'm going to grow a beard. I'm not going to cut it off this time. I'm not going to cut it off this time. And about March, he cuts it off.
It's what you do. It's like you know.
It's kind of like I go, you know, I put on a lot of weight. I think I'm getting this year. I think I'm going to diet. Yeah, that's not happening. But no, so I'm going to be a candy unicorn. And I got somebody at work who's going to be a Kit Kat kitty. We have a Hershey fox, a black licorice witch. What else? I said the Hershey's fox.
Yes.
Snickers queen and a Sour Patch warrior. Since I'm trying to get people to do a theme with me, I thought it would be fun.
I think if I do a costume.
There was one year I went as a belly dancer, and he dressed up like a mobster.
Yes.
He actually looked really damn good as the mobster, by the way. I thought about doing a mobster doll, but
I think if I dress up for Halloween this year. Well, because we can't really go anywhere.
no, because I'm pretty sure Lytheria is canceling their party this year.
Yeah, and all the parties are canceled. We're not going to go out because, you know, COVID.
That's why mine's basically, it's just a headdress and probably a shoulder pauldron. Because
But the nice thing is you get to wear it at work.
for a week.
I work in a very boring place that would not allow this sort of shenanigans.
Yeah, but you can wear your masks.
Yes, I got my mask. But I think I wouldn't mind doing like a 40K type costume.
Well, we have been discussing how exactly we would go about putting together one.
So I'm thinking I might get a big green moo-moo.
That was a giant nurgling?
Yes. I'm a giant miniature nurgling.
Giant sassy nurgling.
Ah!
I still want to figure out how to make nurglings as a plushie. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, Geyser. I wish it did. Oh, I wish it did.
Well, that depends on. Actually, it depends really on how much laxatives you're taking. Because, you know, taking enough laxatives, you will lose weight. But you will. This will not be over quickly, and you will not enjoy it.
Fake news, man.
Let me tell you, 300, the movie with quotes that just keep on giving.
God damn it, I am trying to paint here.
Oh. I will blot out the sun with our arrows.
You just stop now, please. I am trying to paint a thin coat, and I cannot do this when you are making me laugh.
I don't mean to be funny. I just am.
I think that's bad. You should tell them the story about our cat in the sky.
Or what?
Rum waking your ass up.
Oh my God, that's a stupid cat. Okay.
This is one of my favorite stories, folks.
So, our kitty, who is no longer with us, when she came out here,
My cat's a dumbass.
And she came from California. She came from part of California that
Doesn't really rain. So my cat.
and she comes out in the middle of August.
Beginning of August. I remember when I got here.
You got here like the 10th of August.
4th. I left on the 1st. Took me 3 bloody days to get here.
Oh, yes, I remember it well. Anyhow,
My cat was drugged the whole time.
we get a lot of rain in August here.
My poor dumbass got outside.
He got outside, and he kept sneaking out. Now, the first thing, he gets outside. She's freaking out about him. We get him back in. We finally, after like a week, I find him. He's been hiding under the back porch. We've been looking for him frantically, and this idiot was hiding under the back porch for like a week. We finally get him back in the house, and now he's been outside. So now
He wants to go back out.
he wants to keep going back outside like a dumbass. So one night he gets out. Now understand that we have an upstairs floor level where there's a bedroom, and there's a downstairs rec room where there's a bedroom down there. And at that point, that's where I was sleeping. I was in the basement rec room as my bedroom. And in that basement rec room, there's a door that leads outside, and there's an overhang there. We cat got out, and then it starts raining. And at like 2 o'clock in the morning, meow, meow. I kind of wake up here.
Okay, real quick, before you understand, this cat was a Maine Coon. If you were at all familiar with Maine Coon cats, their meow is.
They're not. He's like meow, like really loud.
He's freaking the crap out.
Now I'm across the room. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't really tell where he's at because I'm still half asleep. Meow.
I open the front door.
Opens the front door. He starts meowing louder. Meow. It's raining.
Honey, come here, honey. Honey.
Meow. Meow. And as I realize, the sound in his desperation starts getting louder. Meow. Oh God, meow. For the love of God, meow. There's water coming out of the sky. Meow. Save me, meow. I'm gonna die, meow. Dude, the door's open. Go upstairs. Meow. Meow.
At this time, we end up realizing Seth is downstairs in his stairwell.
And she's calling for him. Meow. And it's just getting more and more desperate. Meow. It's just getting more and more desperate. Finally get up. And I open the door, and the first thing he does is he runs away.
And then starts meowing at the top of the stair.
Because she's gone to bed. I open the door to let him in.
Oh, I'm still standing out there going, come here, mommy. Come on, baby. It's okay.
And he's just sitting there, freaking out at the rain and meowing at the top of his voice. Won't come through the downstairs door. Won't come to the upstairs door because he's underneath the tree where he's being kept from the rain. So he's just sitting there, meow, meow, meow. Oh my God, meow, mom, save me, meow. Oh my God, meow, meow.
I hear this, get in here, stupid.
Mm-hmm. And I reached over, because there's a landing there. I reached over and I grab him and yank him into the house.
And then I close the door upstairs.
And he just stops and looks at me.
Like, the fuck?
And then I close the door. And tell me to screw off. And I start going back to bed. And he's clawing at the door to go back outside. I yell at her to come downstairs and get her damn cat, or I'm putting him back outside, and I'm not getting back out.
That was my cat.
He's an idiot. He was an absolute idiot. She came, she got him. She apologized profusely. And about 20 minutes later, he comes back downstairs
And starts clawing at the damn door.
and starts clawing at the door again. I open the door. The sound of the door scares him, and he runs away. Then he crawls into my bed with me. Gets about this far from my face, so I'm asleep. Meow!
I would like to point out that this cat, I got him just as he would have been at the weaned age. He was raised by humans. His mommy died he was still very little, and he was raised by an old couple that knew how to raise cats.
Swear to God, I almost murdered that cat that night. We almost became a catless family.
No, we didn't. We had Gaia at that point. Mama Gaia was a beautiful kitty who took one look at my dumbass and went, "Oh, for fuck's sake, sit down and shut up."
She would tackle him. She would chase him down, tackle him, and then groom him profusely, because obviously he did not know how to groom himself.
Nope, never learned. When he was a baby, he got groomed because my ass would get tired and throw him in the bathtub. So, yes, I do know how to bathe a cat.
I do too. Power washer.
Will you stop that? Don't attach the steps to the bunkers if you want to connect it to the trenches.
The steps.
What steps? There are steps. Okay. Doorstep.
Oh, these.
These things.
No. These.
Oh, those things.
You're talking about like these little things here.
Oh, I thought you would want to.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Now.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. All right, now I know. I had no idea what you're talking about. But, yeah, no, my cat, he was an idiot. I love him to death, but he was a dumbass. He had no idea how to cat, and Mama Gaia would look at him like he was the biggest dumbass she'd ever met in her life, and he was terrified of her, and she was half his size. I'm surprised he got together with me, given the fact that that cat also was a jealous ass SOB. And if this man came anywhere close to me, my little kitty would promptly lay down on me, and then just kind of be like.
And then he learned about the chuck, and I never had to worry about it again.
No, he still climbed up on me. He just didn't sleep in his spot. He used to just lay in his spot and just give him this look like, what? What? Sing! Goodbye, kitty. That's when
are the weakest link.
And that's when he would just went, oh, I'll just lay on Mom.
Yeah, I used to weakest link that cat all the time. It was hilarious.
He didn't think so.
Yeah, well, he didn't have much of a sense of humor.
I would also like to point out my cat is addicted to fucking
French fries.
McDonald's French fries. Man, you take your hand off of those. Okay, so how far are we into this? Oh, we've only been doing this for 2 hours. No wonder I'm tired now.
Well, it's getting close to sleepy times.
For me.
Look at that. What a nice little bunker. Dig this. Yeah, this is interesting. Every other kit I've gotten, they put the instructions for how to put these together in there. They don't have them in this kit. That's funny. Yes, Kaiser, it is that sleepy time. Actually, we've been doing this for 2 hours, so I think we are going to call this quits here as well. I think I'm going to snap this last piece on, and I will be done for tonight as well. Maybe prime this stuff. So that being said, thank you all for being with
joining
us,
and thank you for those who have dropped us a like.
And appreciate those likes. Remember, we do this randomly. That's why the efforts happen. We normally do them Saturdays or Sundays, just whenever strikes the fancy, or if something comes about that we enjoy or that we find, like this wonderful kit. I'm gonna have to screw do this. It's not sticking. Screw go. Screw go. That being said, we do have our Instagrams. We do have, obviously, this. We also have Patreon for those of you that are nice enough to support us. We're going to give a quick shout out now to our current 8 patrons who are so nice to help us with our current project and hobby goals. So we're going to start off with our $1 Battle Brother level patrons.
Why are there a bunch of bases?
Because I got stuck in the wrong one. Happens to pull them out.
Damn it, Adrian.
How dare I?
Yes, how dare you?
How dare I? So I'll start off with our 2 $1 Battle Brother patrons, which would be
Say my name.
Say My Name, Say My Name, Mini Warmutt, and the incredible, insane, in the membrane,
Inquisitor Zane.
Zane.
Who we do love.
We have our 3.
Brothers?
No, that's Battle Leader,
Battle Leader.
which include Australian Jesus.
My lover. Not really, but you know.
Not really.
It's only in my imagination.
In your imagination. That's wonderful. That would be, of course,
Kaiju shorts.
we have my brother from another mother, my great wolf brother, the man.
The myth.
No, he's not a man of the flesh. That's someone else, a man of the flesh. He is the man on Wolfback. He is Mythos Kushranada.
Yep.
And then lastly, we have Get Off My Lawn!
The most grumpy of all Necrons. The gourmet of Catan eating Catan eaters.
Heinrich Botha. And lastly, we have our 3 Warlord level patrons.
We have he who sits in high orbit and watches for all of us, for our protection, and the Emperor. We have
The
the
Commodore.
Commodore.
We have the ever so lovely battle sister wielding, miniature painting, photographer extraordinaire, the lovely.
Fly to the Phoenix.
And lastly, we have ultimate smash captain, the man in the midst of the fires, our man, James Meeks.
Yep.
So thank you so much, fam. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. And again, for those of you that reach us on Instagram about those masks,
Yep.
we'll talk to you. Tyzo, Greg, we'll get back to you quicker because I know you're locally, so we won't have to worry about shipping or anything. We'll hook up with you if nothing else. We'll see if we can get them made for you this week and see if we can bring them by when we see you on Saturday. As for the rest of you, remember, terrain is king. Make terrain, make your board epic. Because when you epic your board,
You epic your life.
and you epic your game. I'm Big D.
I'm Lady Dragon.
We are the Gamecraft Dragons.
Game on.
Game on.
Okay.